Okay, I have finished the basic sketch for this, as you can see. So what I did was I used obviously the photograph as a kind of a guide, but I didn't stick to the photograph completely. I made some changes, which you're always welcome to do, because really you're trying to think of what's going to be the nicest composition for the piece, not just, does it look exactly like the photograph. So you can see that I've got the fish sketched in. I've got some plant material kind of in here. I've got some lines where I want to leave some lighter areas or even white areas for where water is moving. And so I really have a good sort of start at a composition for this koi painting. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some decisions about how I want to start this. And because this is going to be a watercolor, and because this is really about fish and, kind of their environment, I'm going to keep the palette pretty simple, and I'm going to work in layers because I'm going to want to have some darker areas and some lighter areas for sure. I can see that in my picture, this area, this kind of side of the painting over here is the lighter side of the painting, and this side of the painting over here is the darker side of the painting, but there's some light breaking through here too where the water is being reflected. So I'll use my photograph kind of as a way to manage that. And then I have all this plant material, and there aren't any lily pads in this picture, and I decided to just go with the plant material in this picture. They're kind of more interesting in a way. Lily pads are pretty common. These look more like asparagus ferns that have grown in the water. And you've got some of these leafy things that happen in koi ponds, and usually they're kind of loose. They're not necessarily connected to anything, or if they are, they're connected to some very thin kind of stem that's growing from somewhere in the bottom of the pond. So I'm going to start thinking about that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with kind of roughing out how I want the water to look. I'm not going to paint the fish first because I don't want to, in this case, I don't really want to mix too much of the color of the fish with the color of the water. So I'll start filling in around the fish, and I'll start getting my values in here, my lighter areas, my darker areas, and then I'll start to work on the fish. So what we've done so far is we've taken a photograph, we've done some drawing, and we are ready now to start thinking about painting.